Welcome to Mobility Insider and welcome to beautiful ski resort of Lenzerheide. Today I'm going to talk about this car. This is my own car. This is a 1970 911T, so this is the second generation of the Porsche 911. This was built in June of 1970. It was then exported to the US and drove in California for many years until 2012, when the car was taken back to Europe. After a few years, it was restored to the condition that the car is in today. And that means it was completely taken apart. It had a repaint into the silver color, slightly more silver than the original, and the engine was restored. But overall, the car is in pretty much original conditions. This is a 911T, so that means it is the lead-in Porsche of the range. It has a 6-cylinder 2.2 liter engine, and it has an output of approximately 125 horsepower. The top speed of this car is 200 kilometers per hour. Now, this is a slightly special version of the 911T because it has a Sportomatic gearbox made particularly for the US market, where the drivers wanted to have an automatic instead of the manual gearbox. Many people don't like it. I like it because it drives quite well, and it is also special because they didn't produce many Sportomatic gearboxes. In total, just about 10,700 were made. Two things I really like about this car's design is the way it slopes down in the front and the way the headlamps are integrated, so it makes it very easy to recognize that this is a 911 from the 70s. And the slope it has on the back as well, where you see the shoulders and it goes down and covers the engine. So this shape is just unique. You are absolutely certain that this is a 911. So something about the driving experience of a car like this one. The weight of this car is about 1,100 kilos. So combined with 125 horsepower, you have a pretty sporty feel to it. And it is fairly fast, and for the era, very fast. The driving of a car is pretty straightforward. You can drive it like a normal car that you would buy today. You just have to be a little bit more careful when you have traffic in front of you. You have to watch the brakes a little bit, and obviously I wouldn't go into curves as fast as you would in a sports car of today. But the handling is pretty spot on, fail-proof, and most people would be able to drive this car very safely, if you drive with common sense, of course. I think the Porsche 911 from this era is one of the best examples of automotive, high-quality engineering with passion for sport cars. And this is what makes Porsche so special. And when you see a car like this and you see they have carried on these genes to the today's cars, I think that is impressive how Porsche has done that. Let me show you some of the details of the car. I will show you the front, I'll show you the fuel cap, how that works, the engine compartment, and of course we'll have a look at the interior of the car. It is not the biggest of trunks, but you have enough space for 1 or 2 bags. And of course inside you can also store something behind the 2 passenger seats. Now, something that you might be interested in is does a car like this one have matching numbers? Now, this one does. What you want to do is to see if that matches what the car has on the chassis of the vehicle. Let's move on to the fuel cap. Now, as on any 911, when you fuel the car, it happens up here in the front. Very easy, nice solution with the plastic part, so that if you spill petrol, you can wipe it off with a cloth. Right, but let's move on to something more interesting, the engine compartment. The engine had been restored and many of the parts have been replaced, so they are up to date. You have the 2 carburetors here, and it's pretty tidy. Also here, if you want to check the number of the engine, where you have to look is down here. There's a number that you can then see if that matches the papers that you have on the car. But let's switch on the engine and I'll explain a little bit more. If you maintain it well and you don't drive it like crazy, it will give you 100,000 or 200,000 miles easily before you have to restore it again. I just love this typical Porsche sound of the boxer flat engine. It is just unmistakably one of the nicest sounds you get on a classic car. When the car was restored, I decided to have these Fuchs rims mounted on the car. These are original, they have been restored to their former glory, and they are, in my opinion, some of the most nice rims you get from Porsche. In any Porsche 911, the driving position is just excellent, and Porsche has a clever way of designing the instrument cluster that I really like. So you have the rev counter in the middle, then you have a speedometer to your right, or you can have a clock to your right, and to the left you have all the other important information, so the fuel tank, the oil level, oil pressure, and the temperature of the engine. And I particularly like this original Porsche Nardi steering wheel with wood finish and a Porsche logo in the middle. And also quite nice in this car is that you have an original radio from Blaupunkt in the car, and it even still works. Maybe not the best sound, but it still works, and I don't want to replace it. I know you can buy some modern radios instead of this one. Overall, a really nice experience when you drive the car. You sit comfortably, you have everything within reach, and you can see all the details you need to know. Well done. So another quirky detail in the car is the heating. So you control the heating with this red lever. The more you pull it, the more hot air will go through the system and into the cabin. So on a warm day you don't want that. And this one is for the engine. When you start the engine, you can control the idle speed by lifting this up and down. Now the engine is warm, so you just put it down again. And of course the handbrake you have here. So corrosion always starts from the inside. So if you see any signs in this area of corrosion, it's already a bit too late, and it will cost you a lot of money to fix it. So it has to be clean like this. So also do have a look at the ceilings, if they are properly fitted, so that the car doesn't take any moisture from the outside if you drive through a shower or go through a car wash. So you want to have a look at these ceilings and see if there's any corrosion on the roof, and you follow that down. You look here, any spot that isn't perfect, you want to have a closer look at that to avoid heavy and costly repairs. And you would also have a good look at these areas, the ceiling, see if there's any moist in the headlamps. And if you look in the trunk itself, you should look on both sides, here where the batteries are. Here, if you have any moist or any corrosion in this area, also you would have an expert look at it, because that may be a sign of costly corrosion repairs coming up. This bit was protected against corrosion, so it's got this surface. But here you see a really clean example of a 1970 Porsche 911T. When you close the bonnet, check that the fittings are good, you know, that there's no big gap anywhere. You check it all the way around on the other side as well, like on this specimen, which is a very nicely restored car, and that is what you really want when you buy a car like this.